And then, of course, Marco, your friend. This clown was a little girl in Mexico. She was had strange behavior. And they called in the priests. And the priest declared that she was possessed. So they did an exorcism. The priest did the exorcism, and the little girl died during the exorcism. So they buried her in front of witnesses. They lowered the coffin into the ground, buried it, went home, and her favorite toy that was supposed to be buried with her was sitting on her bed. So they swear up and down that the mortician and the burial people made a mistake. In front of witnesses, they dug up the little girl, opened up her coffin, and gave her back her clown, sealed it, and buried her. 3 days later, the younger sister started to exhibit the exact same behavior. The father walked in, and she had the clown in her hands. He tried to restrain her. She bit him to the bone and threw the mother off. They called the priest again, deciding this was out of his league, and he left the house. He went running. He's on his way back to the church. Tiny town, 3-4 trucks, maybe, if we are lucky. And one guy driving a truck looks down on his floorboard and sees this clown, and he doesn't have any children. So he reaches down for this clown because he thinks it's odd, looks up, just in time to hit and kill the priest, right outside the church. At the same time, the father sees the clown in his cow field, in the cow pastures. He goes running out there to get this clown, and the cows go insane, trampling him to death, and then throwing themselves off a small cliff and dying. A curandero named Jesus Hernandez was then called in, who determined that this clown was possessed, actually, by a demon. And this demon goes after innocent people, and then it destroys and kills once the innocence is, it's usually children. He wrapped it up, sealed it, you'll see all the wax here, and kept it in his collection along with a few other things that we own. He passed away, and Vicky here was darling enough to buy part of the estate. And the estate started being shipped in slowly, and this was one piece that was shipped in on its own. We didn't know it was coming. And the Chumash tribe, the Indian tribe, said, "What in the hell smells so bad? In that box, something smells like death." We opened up the box, and here's this little black thing, and it says, "Do not break the seal." So the first thing I did was break the seal. I didn't think much of it, and I figured, well, it was bound. He bound it in the clown, not a problem. So we left it in my office overnight, and there was a, I had some like Winchell's donuts and some rum up on the thing for the altar and stuff like that. And we went home to our townhouse in Glendale at the time, and we came back, and this little shit had moved a stool into my office where it was sitting upright, looking all proud of itself, with little tiny bite marks out of every one of my donuts. My rum was gone, my books were stacked to the ceiling, and everything else was scattered through my office. And here stood
sat the clown
in the middle of it all. And I looked at it, and I said, "You know what, you're going to do the Macarena, because I am going to torment you." So I made it do the Macarena and the funky chicken, to which hair flew out at me. And I thought, well, this isn't a good idea. So we rewrapped it, and we put it in a shelf. This shelf was always organized until I put the clown in there. And then the shelf, everything in the shelf would fall over or would reorganize itself. I'd have a statue on this side, and it'd end up on this side because the clown didn't want to be by the statue. So now the clown stays in the file cabinet because the clown cannot get along with other people or other things or other energies or other spirits or anything else.
You pissed him off. That's all right. Okay, so there it is.